Championship returns. I'm really excited. I've just got my Bristol City ticket, so really excited for that one. That's on the 6th of August, so I will be taking you along with me doing a vlog there. Hopefully I'll do many more this season, and also videos like this. Got plans to do like Championship weekly prediction, which is a bit of fun. So we're getting a weekly video out even if I don't go to a game. But today I'm going to be rating all the Championship grounds. I'm going to start with Birmingham and then work my way down, so it's all in alphabetical order, and it'll be a rating out of 10. This is going off atmosphere. The result, not really, but a tiny bit obviously does affect it. If it's a 0-0, both sets of fans can be a bit boring. If it's like a high scoring game like 3-2, obviously it's going to be a bit more lively. But we're mainly off the fans and the ground and the facilities, like if the concourse isn't very good. So it'll be mainly off that, and it's obviously my personal opinion, even though I know I'll get lots of hate, and they're completely fine. So I'm going to start with Birmingham. I've been twice. I've seen us lose 2-0 and I've seen us win 3-0 in the cup. The 2-0 one was quite a long time ago. I think Larson played for him at the time before he came to us, and he left us ages ago as well, so it shows how long ago that was. The 3-0 in the cup though, they have the stand on the left hand side from the away end closed, and a little bit of the stand that we're in, or that we didn't have, also shut off. So they only had 2 stands of their fans, and we had the stand here behind the goal. You'll see in the overlay somewhere here or here. Not going to babble on too much. Fans were alright from both sets. We were good from our set because we won 0-0 obviously, and the ground nice, the concourse is alright. I'm going to give it a nice and easy 7. Next up, I've got Blackburn on the list. I've been one time with Yeovil when they were in the Championship. We travelled up, or I went with my friend to Barnsley away with Leeds the following day, so we did like a little football getaway. It was 0-0, quite boring. Blackburn fans, not a massive amount of fans there. Yeovil didn't have a massive amount of fans. Not a lot went in on the game, but 0-0. The concourse, I don't remember it. Again, back in like 2014-15, whenever Yeovil were winning the Championship. But Yeovil didn't bring many fans, obviously being quite a small team. The ground though, it's a lovely ground, so that's why I got it a bit higher. But I'm only going to give it a 6 out of 10. Next I've got Blackpool, and I went here one time with Exeter, travelled all the way up actually on the Exeter coaching with my friend. Quite a few of my friends are Exeter fans, so hopefully you'll be watching this one. If not, I'll send you the link because you're kind of relevant in this video, because I've been maybe 3 Exeter games in the kind of grounds that I'm going to talk to you about. I went to Blackpool. Obviously before we went to the Blackpool Tower. I do love Blackpool, and the ground is lovely. They were at that time doing protests against I don't remember what the name of the owners were called, oysters or something like that. So not many fans went. There was the left hand side was completely shut off. I believe there was a section of fans in behind the goal and a bit more in that stand. But Exeter took quite a lot, and the attendance was maybe like 4,000 or 5,000. With Blackpool, I don't know how big it is, maybe 13,000, 14,000 capacity stadium. It's not that great atmosphere in that respect. If I remember rightly, Exeter won 2-1, but regardless if I got that one wrong, it was a lovely ground and good atmosphere from the Exeter fans. Really like the ground. Would like to go again with Sunderland. We took quite a few fans there when we last played. So for Blackpool, I'm going to give it, same as Birmingham, 7 out of 10. So Bristol City next, and as you can see on the overlay of the picture, the ground looks completely different now. Like when I went way back when Yeovil would have been relegated to League One. So I went with my friend. It was on Boxing Day, very cold, and that stand behind their goal was not there. The wind was coming that way as well, so it was freezing. The wind was coming literally right at us. Yeovil lost 2-1. The ground definitely needed doing something to it, and I've seen pictures of it and it looks completely different. So considering I'm going in a couple of weeks, I will probably change my rating, but I can only give it the rating of what I've seen already, which would be 5 out of 10, but it most likely will be 8 out of 10 when I go in 2 weeks time, but at the moment 5 out of 10. Burnley I can't comment on because I haven't actually been to Burnley, like one of the grounds I would like to go to, maybe do it this season hopefully. The 4 teams that I haven't done are actually quite far away, so I'd like to do at least 1 or 2 of those ones this season, at least one of them. but I can't comment on Burnley at all, unfortunately. Next up, in Cardiff. I've been one time. It was in the Championship, and we went straight back down again into League One. We lost 4-0. It was terrible. Even Cardiff fans, there weren't actually many Cardiff fans, even though I thought Cardiff were quite well supported, so I don't know what was going on there. But they won 4-0. Our fans are obviously really getting angry and upset, so it actually wasn't very good. It was quite a hostile atmosphere from both sets of fans, and fans were arguing. I think there was a fight between our fans at half time as well. It really wasn't looking good at that time. Local fans left early too, so it was actually terrible. The ground there, lovely, but I only had to give it a 5 out of 10. Next up in Coventry, and the ground is absolutely fantastic. Let's start with that one. We have lots of beef with Coventry from back in the day. Also kind of with Bristol City as well, because it was kind of their fault that we went down to the old, we've been third division actually, so the first time we went down into that league. But other than that, lovely ground, just terrible fans. I don't know why they don't fill it. There's lots of empty seats everywhere, so the atmosphere don't obviously get hindered by that with just fans spread out. But the away end holds nearly 5,000, so lots of our fans there. It's a 1-1 draw. You'll see that comes quite a recurring factor with our 1-1 draws with Sunderland. They're quite a running joke between me and my friend Chris. But for Coventry, with the ground and the away end and the facilities and the casino that you can go to before the game, I'm actually going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next up is Huddersfield, and this is what I haven't done also, so that'll be one of the ones that I might do this season. Placing wise, one of the closer ones, even though it's still really far away. The other one after that is also Hull, following Huddersfield, which I also haven't done, and I probably will not go there for a long time. Quite a distance going all the way that way to Norwich area, and yeah, not the best drive or easy travel on the train. But even I can get up to like Sheffield quite easily that way, and Huddersfield is obviously up that way too. So both of them can't comment on. Next up is Luton. I've been there twice actually, once with Exeter and with Sunderland. I've seen a 1-1 draw. I think they're both 1-1 draws actually. So again, you can see the recurring result in my visit to these grounds. Your way and going in, I mean, it's very different. It's a very old style ground. But going off, some people do like that kind of one, but definitely they need to improve those facilities, especially how close they were to getting into the Premier League potentially, and they could do it this season, even though I reckon they won't. But let's not go there. The beams were in the way. The fans were passionate, to be fair, so I could only give it a 7 out of 10. Ground. Middlesbrough next, and the last one I haven't actually been to. I have seen it from the outside, but again, I haven't been to a game. I do hope to potentially go to Middlesbrough away this year, but again, it's quite a trek, and if I'm going all that way, I'd rather see a home game, to be honest. So probably won't be doing that one for a while as well, but yeah, I can't comment on that one. Next up is Millwall away. Honestly, fantastic ground to be fair. I really, really like it. The away end, you actually go through like a protected part, actually as rough as they are, quite intimidating, but I've walked straight from the Millwall fans. They have a bit of banter, bit of fun, but nothing too bad, like it was probably back in the 80s. Really like the ground. Nice behind the goal, get that whole upper tier section. I think maybe a bit of the lower tier too. 1-1 draw again, would you believe it? And for this one, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Really good, intimidating. Next up is Norwich. Been there once. A long travel, honestly. I don't think I'll do it again. It's actually a really nice ground. We'll see it again. Lovely view. We won 3-1. It was on live TV. Watford scored. I think Defoe scored. It was fantastic. And really good atmosphere, actually, from both sets of fans. There wasn't actually a lot going on in actual Norwich when I stayed over the night before, but the ground itself, lovely, the fans are good, the weigh-in's alright. 8 out of 10 for this one. Next up, Preston, been once, 2-2 draw this time, so actually not a 1-0, which was really good. It was a really good game. Don't remember if we came down or if it was 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-0, I don't know what it was like. But I just remember it was a really good game. We had the whole stand behind the goal there, so that was fantastic. And atmosphere. Stayed in Blackpool the night before as well, so that was really good. Yeah, nice concourse, big concourse, plenty of room for everyone. Good atmosphere from both sets of fans. 8 8 out of 10. QPR next, and this is a lovely ground. You're right on top of the pitch, so you really look like you feel like you're looking over right on the edge of it. So you have a really good view. You're not far away at all, so that's fantastic. Wigan a cup, like a night game. We sold out our area right behind the goal, so had a fantastic view. I know there's some restricted seating either side if you do get unlucky with the seats there, but if you can go in that centre behind the goal, really good. We won 2-1. Paddy McNair with a brace, so we went into that next round, so fantastic. Fans were good from both sides, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for QPR. Definitely will be going back. Now Reading away next, and it is honestly, the McJakin Stadium, probably one of the best stadiums to go to in the Championship. We get a fantastic away end there behind the goal, to the right hand section of it, depending how many fans you get. I went with Yeovil. It was a 1-1 draw, believe it or not, again. And Yeovil had 3 red cards. There weren't a lot of empty seats. I didn't actually get a very good picture. Couldn't go walking through a panoramic then, so just have a rubbish picture up here that I found from the game. Yeovil took quite a few this time, so it was actually really good atmosphere, not being a massive far away from Yeovil, like 3 hours or so on the train or driving into the outskirts of London. I'm going to give Reading, I can't wait to go back to this one, 9 out of 10. It would be a bit more, probably if I go to Sunderland, I probably would give it a 10. Next one, Rotherham. Now I went here in a pre-season friendly. It was actually when David Moyes had just being announced as our manager, so he was up in the stands. He ended up coming down at the end when we were chanting his name, so it was actually all good fun. Everyone was having a laugh, having lots of drink. See, the result doesn't matter, it was a 1 draw again. But that doesn't matter. I don't even remember who scored. We were just having a good time, chanting about David Moyes and David Boy give us a wave, things like that. So yeah, that was all good. Ground is lovely. I didn't have a very good view because I was literally like 2 rows down. So yeah, the view I had wasn't the best. If I was a bit higher up, it would be a bit better. Egypt, one of those playing kind of little smaller bowl kind of grounds, but still really nice from the outside. Looks really nice. You can actually see Millwall not too far away. But yeah, fans wise, a bit more complicated pre-season, so I'll take that into a factor. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Sheffield United next. I actually travelled midweek with Yeovil. Don't know why I did that. That was a tiring day, and I just had to stay overnight. Yeovil lost 2-0. Yeovil fan, there was only about 100 or so there, so that wasn't very good in the away-end area that we were in. We were kind of spread out a bit, so again, couldn't build any atmosphere. But the home fans, fantastic. One of the best home fans I've seen actually. I would give Nottingham Forest probably the best home fans I've seen, but yeah, they're definitely up there. But I'm going to give Bromwich the ground 8 out of 10. Stoke City next. I've been twice. I've seen 2 1-1 draws, obviously. I have. I think the first scored one of them as well, but one of them we actually got kicked out of a taxi on the way, and ended up missing the third goal. So for me, I only saw Stoke score, so I didn't actually see something score. It was like in the 3rd minute, but yeah, that was obviously a 1-0. Lovely ground though. If only they filled this part here where the tunnel is, it would be a bit better rather than like they're sectioned off. But definitely different. The only bad thing is you've got to travel quite far out of Stoke to actually get to the ground, so the transport isn't fantastic. Or if you were getting buses and things, there would be long queues. That's how I found it hard to get a taxi. But yeah, so we had to walk to the ground, and it's in the middle of nowhere really, but I'm going to have to give Stoke an 8.5. It would be a 9 if the transport improves. Sunderland next, I might be biased, but it's a phenomenal stadium, no matter where you're sitting. I've sat all over it really, and I've seen games from different, one from big games, from teams against like Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, to also small games and against small teams like Exeter and Newcastle. I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I know I'm biased, but I know my team and I love the ground, so 10 out of 10. Swansea next, and I've seen Defoe score a hat-trick here with a 3-0 win, and I've also seen a 1-1 draw, obviously. And both times fantastic. Swansea fans are actually alright. It's an alright ground. Yes, I mean, there's nothing too bad to say other than that. quite close to me too, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Watford away next, and both times I've been, I went with Leeds once and I've been in Sunderland once, which I might have been in Sunderland twice, but I don't remember the other time. I think I have been 3 times. The one I mainly remember is a 2-2 draw. I put a video up that went a bit viral, had about 90,000 views, so I remember it from that, when we stayed up and Newcastle went down, which was a fantastic time. Obviously, how roles are reversed now, so bit in the arse of it, but lovely ground, can't fault it. Good fans, 10 out of 10. Next up, West Brom. Been here 3 times, a long time ago, so we won 1-0 in our only away victory in the Premier League that season. I think it was the season we finished with 15 points. But I don't remember much about the game. I just remember the score. I've got the programme. I have seen West Brom v Chelsea here with my friend, just won 3-1, and Pedro rocking debut on that one, which was good to see. And I liked seeing Hazard, and then I've seen her play, and we lost 1-0. James McLean taunted in front of our fans, and a little fight at the end of full time with Catamol. It's like mainly what I remember from that one, but the fans were alright. Not the best view, I'm right up the top, so the picture I'm putting up here is actually at the full time, so it was actually a full ground. But yeah, lost 1-0, not amazing, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And lastly, we've got Wigan. We won 3-0 obviously in the gone season, and that was the start of our unbeaten run that we are currently still on. Unbeaten in the league, that is, not including obviously pre-season. Which is phenomenal, to be perfectly honest. I think Roger scored 2, I believe. And yeah, fantastic. Good battle between both fans. Good ground. Shop right nearby, pub right nearby, park right nearby. Got out quite easily. Got home quite reasonable time. So 10 out of 10 here for Wigan. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to do championship predictions for the game week 1. And I'll be back soon with vlogs. That's me.